Alright, yo, what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here. E3 is in less, I guess it'd be, well, if we're talking about which E3 starts first, which would be Microsoft's, it's a little over 12 hours away. And this might be really fucking late to be doing this video, but I'm doing it. Particularly because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be as long as you would think it probably would be. Okay, so anyway, E3, Microsoft starts at 12:30 my time, which sucks because Microsoft I know I'm going to miss. I've always missed Microsoft's conferences because it's on a fucking Monday afternoon. It's like unless you take off for Monday, you're missing Microsoft. Because I usually am at work at like 12. Surprisingly tomorrow I actually have to work a longer day. So I got to come in at 1, which means I'll catch like the first 30 minutes of it and like the other hour I'm going to miss. Sony starts at 9, which is about 45 minutes after I get off of work. So I'll catch Sony's. I usually catch Sony's. And by the way, we're going to do exactly what we did last night. I mean last E3 guys on Facebook. We're going to sit there and live reaction to everything. That was actually funny. I remember I think it was me, Neo, Elite Ace, I think Hado. I don't remember specifically, but I do remember Hado and a few other people. We were just kind of typing our reactions and liking each other. Oh, Esper and shit. We were just typing each other reactions and shit. It was fun as hell. So I'll probably catch Sony's, and then Nintendo's I took off Tuesday. Like I'm working a longer day tomorrow, so I can catch. So I'm off Tuesday, so I can catch a Nintendo's. And Francis just recently, from Player Essence, recently posted the times and how long, so it is confirmed that Nintendo's digital event will be an hour and a half, which a lot of people are happy about because last year was like 40-something minutes and we all sat there was like, this is some bullshit. So that means that we will have a lot more time to do a lot more shit, and because we ain't got any bullshit ass demonstrations we gotta watch, all we're gonna watch is pretty much talking and gameplay and trailers and shit. That means there should be a good plethora of games. That has like really put me, that has kind of raised my spirits in a sense. That's the best way to describe it. So E3 in general, who I'm the most excited for? Be perfectly honest, Sony and Microsoft have the most to prove. And I know a lot of people say, well, doesn't Nintendo have the most to prove? No, well, yes and no, because Nintendo doesn't have anything slated like any real release dates for the rest of this year, but we already know about like 6 or 7 games that are coming out this year, so it's not like we don't expect shit. Sony, I don't know what the fuck is coming out this year. And I say this year because every game that was supposed to come out this year has been delayed except for like 1 or 2 of them. Like a lot of them have just been fucking delayed, like the Order 1886, which I was interested in. And the fact that I hear that it is a single player game, and I'm so happy because of that. I understand that's a game that probably will work. It looks like it would be like an old school England Left 4 Dead kind of game. But I don't really mind that it's single player, but I know a lot of people were bitching about that, which they'll probably change that because that's usually how it is. It's like enough fans bitch about something, they usually backpedal and never stick to their guns, which, you know, works out for the fans. It just kind of makes you question the company themselves about their choices. But whatever. It's not the fucking point. That's kind of go over each company. I'm not going to really spend too much time on certain companies, probably because I don't care that much about what they can show. Microsoft, the only game, as I said, I'm interested in is Sunset Overdrive. And this whole idea has been floating around the internet recently about what the fuck is the point of owning an Xbox? Well, what's the fucking point of owning next-gen consoles at this point? Because a lot of the games that they have are multiplats, and most of those multiplats are either on the other console or on their previous system or on PC. Not Wii U, though, because we know that fucking bias is still there. That's besides the point, though. You can play almost all these games on PC half the time. And what reiterated this fact is when we found out, I think earlier this week, that Dead Rising 3, which was a game I was legitimately interested in, is going to come to PC this summer. Which then brings up the question, wow, Microsoft, you lost your own exclusive to another thing in your brand, to like another console in your own brand. It's like, got a nice job. Like, Jesus Christ. It's like, you make your console really unappealing when you put everything on it on PC. I think the only game you now have on there that is, we'll see how long Sunset Overdrive stays Xbox exclusive. It doesn't go to PC, because I'm betting that go to PC too. mean, for God's sake, that's kind of where her Titanfall. It's like Titanfall had this decent amount of hype behind it, and then you gave it a 360 and PC release, and people were just kind of like, why the fuck should I buy the Xbox One version when the PC version is going to run better, and the Xbox 360 version only looked like it had like a visual downgrade. That was literally the only difference between the two, which really didn't change anything. It was dumb. And then on top of that, the 360 has a bigger install base, so you'll have more of your friends to play with without spending, at that point, $500. So, yeah. So, if you wanted my opinion on what I want from Microsoft, I want them to come out with some new IPs because they need it. Microsoft has, like, literally jack shit all. Maybe, like, 2... I think at the most they have, like, what, 5 IPs? If that, I might be being generous. If we look at it, look, Titanfall isn't exclusive. Well, I guess it's Microsoft exclusive, so Titanfall, Halo, Gears of War. From what I've been hearing, rumors Gears of War may not stay exclusive. You got Sunset Overdrive, technically Dead Rising 3. I think that's it. There might be some other ones, but that's like the only 5 I can remember off the top of my head. They need some new fucking IPs. Like, dead ass. Just new IPs. Because the biggest problem with Microsoft is not having games to play. It's not having a reason to buy specifically an Xbox One. Like, this is... Microsoft's issue is less of having games to play. Well, actually, they need games to play currently right now anyway. But on top of that, we also need a reason to specifically buy an Xbox One. Because I have no reason to specifically buy an Xbox One. Because even the games that are exclusive to your console don't even stay exclusive for a full year. Seriously, Dead Rising 3, that's fucking pitiful. And then on top of that, I heard they're like making another Forza game, even though the first, like, don't announce another Forza when you still have an old one that, a one that just came out like, what, 6, 7 months? No, it's probably been about 8 months. About 8 months ago? Why are you announcing a sequel? Now, from what I understand, they're two different Forzas, but the point is, it's still a part of the Forza franchise. Like, that shows how bad it is. Like, even as much as people get on Mario about how many games there are out, Mario doesn't go, oh look, Super Mario 3D Land and Super Mario 3D World. Those were spaced out, I believe, about, what, 2 years? 2 years? 3 years? I'm not totally sure. I don't remember when 3D Land came out. I think it was 2011 or 2012. Even the new Super Mario Brothers games, it wasn't like New Super Mario Brothers U and New Super Mario Brothers 2 with the coins and shit. I think that was about a good year or so. I mean, it wasn't like, and then on top of it, it wasn't like the same. I don't understand. Microsoft, you show how badly you need games. Let me first say, you show how badly you need exclusives when you do shit like that. You should not be announcing a new game in the same type of franchise. Not that goddamn quick. That's insane. And then on top of that, I think technically it's the third game because there's Forza 5 and then there's Forza Horizon shit, and I think there's another Forza game that's like digital only or something. I might be wrong, correct me. But the point I'm trying to make is the one thing I really just want to see from Microsoft is for them to take a risk. And people want to sit there and go, oh, what are you talking about? Microsoft? No. I need Microsoft to take a real risk. Not this fucking, oh, we're just going to have the same type of gameplay of another franchise, but just tweak it a little bit and make it into a new IP. No, I want a different game, and I mean different. Like, it looks inherently different from what Microsoft usually puts out. You know why? Because that game, that's one of the reasons why I was interested in Sunset Overdrive. That game does not look like most of Xbox's exclusives. Like the 5 they have or some shit. I'm just saying, like, I want them to get a little bit more reckless with their IPs. Like, you're trying to convince me to buy your console. Okay, look at the competition. You're like, okay, fine, you're copying Sony to a T for the most part, but you're still not even doing what Sony does. Like, when's the last time you've had an action-adventure game? Like, all your games that you do are fucking first-person shooters. Or have shooters in them. Like, do an IP that isn't a shooter. Try a beat-em-up. A better one. Rise doesn't count because Rise looks like a piece of shit. Rise looks like a slow, boring piece of shit. It looks like a really... I'm not going to get into that. The point I'm trying to make is, like, get a little bit more reckless with your IPs. Do something cartoony for once. I mean, Sunset Overdrive looks like it's a step in that direction, but, like, get a little bit weirder. Like, it's like, oh, look, Nintendo always seems to fucking commandeer the platforming fandom. Why don't you make your own platformer and try to get... I want you to step out of your safe zone. People keep telling Nintendo to do the same thing. Okay, fine. Nintendo needs to step out of their safe zone. So the fuck does Microsoft? Because Microsoft plays it safe all the goddamn time. Please, try something different. Entice me. If the games you've been putting out are like the same type of games you make, try appealing to a new fan base. Not every, like, fuck, make a better RPG, I'll put it that way. Try to include more Japanese RPGs on your console. That's, to me, the way the Xbox brand is received in Japan kind of proves my point. They are so stuck in the way they make games and they refuse to go outside of that genre that you end up in this situation where they just alienate a certain type of gamer. And that's what the fuck Microsoft does. It alienates its gamers. It alienates a certain type of gamer. That's why the Japanese doesn't buy into that bullshit. Even Nintendo and Sony make games that everybody in every country enjoy. Like, I've never seen a console fail that hard in one country to that ridiculous degree. Like, it's fucking insane. Maybe you should try to fix that this generation. Just saying. That'd be nice. Put in some effort. Fuck. I guess next up, Sony. What am I even looking forward to on Sony? Sony suffers the same problem, having a whole bunch of delays. We know an Uncharted's coming. I've never been an Uncharted fan, so I can't even really comment on that. I mean, yeah, that's something, but I don't really give a shit. I think there's something called Mad Max coming out, which I believe is a racer. Mario Kart 8, I'm kind of fine, and then you got Project Cars coming out later this year. I'm good in terms of racers. I can't even think. The Division, The Crew, I believe. The Alien Isolation game, but considering how Colonial Marines went over, I don't even know I'd be excited about that. I heard rumors that they're going to try to make a sequel to PlayStation Battle All-Stars, which I'm not going to say would be a bad idea, but you need to try to differentiate it from Smash Brothers so people don't fucking make that argument. I mean, the game didn't look bad, but the one thing I didn't like about it is that concept that you couldn't beat anyone. That half the matches would be just spent building up a gauge to get one shot at trying to kill everybody, unless you spent like half of the time in the match charging up the gauge and then kill. Like, Smash Brothers works because it can be fast-paced action. The problem with the PlayStation Battle All-Stars is that wasn't fast-paced. You had to grind no matter what type of stage you were on, no matter who the fuck you were playing with. You had to grind to get your gauge up. And it just didn't seem like a fun game. It didn't seem like it'd be worth the time. On top of that, if you're going to have the same kind of feel to Smash Brothers, and that's, I mean, if you don't want to say it's the same game, that's whatever, but the feel is obviously similar. Put more characters in there that isn't from, like, this current generation, like Crash or Spyro. Now, I understand that the license isn't a part of Sony, but come on, that's a part of Sony's history. No one will sit there and go, oh yeah, Spyro and Crash obviously were a part of the Nintendo generation. No, that's obviously Sony. To a fucking T. Just get a little bit more reckless. I mean, try to get characters that Nintendo can't get. Even third party. I mean, for God's sakes. It's like, if you're going to make a second one, that's alright. But give us more options. That was the other thing. It was restricted. Like with Nintendo, with Smash Brothers, you could do stock matches, time matches, team matches, health matches. With PlayStation Battle All-Stars, it literally was just, you gotta do the same thing the same way in every goddamn match. Like, there was no variety. So if they're gonna make a second one, I would hope they would change some things. Sony, I don't really think... Actually, yeah, they kind of need new IPs too, because they were gonna run everything into the ground. I mean, what, God of War has like, what, 4 or 5 games within 2 console generations? Uncharted's on its 4th game, and that was a PS3 game. Like, Jesus, like, the fact that the PS3 had 3 goddamn, like, Infamous, I think it was the same thing. Like, Infamous had 3, no, it had 2 games. And then you had Second Son, which is the 3rd game in the series. I'm like, dude, you're running these fucking new IPs into the ground. Like, you just made these things a generation ago, and people are already getting tired of them. Stop it. Granted, God of War was from the PS2 era, but I don't think we really need another fucking God of War. And plus that, because there's only so much you can do for God of War. Like, after a certain point, you're going to have to walk away from that shit. Which is why you take breaks. You don't oversaturate the shit out of your console. God. What the fuck else do they have? Little Big Planet, I guess you could do another one of those, but that really wouldn't appeal. Yeah, they need new IPs. That's just a fact. Sony needs new IPs, period. What exactly? I'm not sure, but Sony's always been a little bit better at being more creative with their IPs than Microsoft has. And, I mean, that's just a fact. Microsoft is horrible. With new IPs, Microsoft is horrible. I'm sorry. Sony, I think, just needs new IPs, and or either that or make another Jak and Daxter game. I think it has been a while since that, right? You know, grab some, I think the PS2 era was like their best era. Jump into that bitch and grab as many things you can, or just take elements from games and try to make some new IPs out of it. That's all I have to really say for Sony. And then we have Nintendo, which I'm the most excited for because there's a lot of potential there. I know there's this game running around called Project Steam, which may or may not be the 3DS title, or may not be the Wii U title. There's also rumors going around that that thing might be Retro's title. It sounds like a shooter, so there's a possibility it might be Miyamoto's new IP, because Miyamoto did say some shit about how he wants to try an FPS. Granted, I don't know how excited I'd be about that, because I don't really like FPSs. That's just, I don't give a fuck what console it's on, I just don't like FPSs. Really depends on how it looks and everything. We know Zelda's going to be shown. We got this Pokken Fighters thing floating around. A lot of people are interested in hoping that's a thing. And I know it's a thing because the name's been trademarked in 2 countries. It's been trademarked, I believe, in Europe and in Japan. And I think it's been trademarked in North America. So I know it's a thing. I would be interested to see what it is. It's not like when you couldn't use another goddamn fighting game. So I'm interested in that. Hyrule Warriors looks cool. I mean, I played One Piece Pirate Warriors. I have no problem with the Dynasty Warriors style games. And Hyrule Warriors looks just as cool. So no problems there. What else? Metroid, the whole Metroid Star Fox thing. A lot of people are just clamoring for these two. If I had to pick one or the other that I would rather do, I probably would say F-Zero. I don't think they're going to do F-Zero. To me, it seems dumb to do F-Zero when you just had Mario Kart out. I mean, yeah, it'd be for next year, but it's like you don't want to oversaturate your fucking console to racing games. I mean, God knows they don't need another fucking platformer for a minute. Is there probably going to be a new Mario game? Yeah. Is it going to be the traditional Mario? We don't know, but damn sure is going to be another fucking Mario game, unfortunately. I'm not really mad at another Mario game. It just depends on what the game is. Depends on how I feel about it. I don't think they should do another F-Zero. If they're gonna do an F-Zero, I'd rather them announce it next year and have it come out that year or the year after. If we had to talk about which one I'd rather them do, I think it'd be a smarter choice to do Star Fox than anything. I'm not saying Metro wouldn't work, but Star Fox would work with the gamepad. You could hold it up and take aim and shoot targets. It allow you, like the gamepad would be a zoomed-in view of what you're seeing on your screen. You could literally put it in front of each other, turn, and you get the zoomed-in shot with the reticle on the gamepad, and that would be a cool thing. So I think Star Fox, if anything, I hope is what they announce, that they're going to announce any one of those 3 old franchises. Now, if you want to do a 3DS Metroid, that'd be cool. I ain't got no problem with that. I don't think there has been. Yeah, that's the other franchise they haven't really touched on 3DS yet. So Metroid would be cool, and I know there's an unannounced 3DS game that's supposed to be taking up some time. Obviously, we need more information on X. We better get release dates for Bayonetta. Zelda, Hyrule Warriors better get one because it already has a release date in fucking Japan. It's like August 14th or some shit. Bayonetta, I think, has one too. They are both coming out in the summer in Japan, so they better get fucking release dates. Especially because Bayonetta's been known about for at least over a year, almost 2 years probably. Bayonetta better get a fucking release date. Hyrule Warriors better get a fucking release date. Smash Brothers on 3DS better get a fucking release date. I'm not expecting Wii U Smash Brothers to get a release date. I just don't believe that. There's no reason to give a release date this early. They'll probably wait like a few months after and at least give us... And they might give us a month, but I don't expect the goddamn date. Yarn Yoshi, we don't even know that's a 2014 game. We know X is, so X, I don't know if it'll get a release date, but it'll probably come out somewhere around October, September, around there. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, I don't know if that's a 2014 game. It's an RPG, so I wouldn't... Maybe? Or either that or have it be early 2015 game because... it's an RPG and you have X coming out, and X will take up a lot of fucking time anyway, so there's no reason to double dip on fucking RPGs. What else? What else? And as far as, and we already know there's at least 2 or 3 games we don't know anything about. That's cool. We know this thing is going to be an hour and a half, so they're going to have a lot of shit to show. And a lot of people are hoping for Mario Kart 8 DLC, which I am too, because it'd be nice. I mean, you kind of unlock everything within the first week of Mario Kart 8. I've unlocked everything except for, I think, the gold parts for the carts, which has a lot to do with fucking 150cc. Oh god. Anyway, that's a different story. I don't think there's really anything else. You know what would be kind of cool, and this is just speculation, I'd like to see a Kid Icarus game on the Wii U. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a remake of Uprising, but I'd like to see a Kid Icarus game. I don't want that franchise to go in obscurity, but if they really wanted to reach for an old IP, doing a new Punch-Out game would be cool. I mean, you have Little back in Smash Brothers, so I'm like, do a new Punch-Out, or do a new Ice Climbers game. They've only had, I think Ice Climbers only had 1 game. And granted, I don't remember how Ice Climbers that game played, but, you know, it'd be something different. To me, it's like, and here's my thing, if you were to choose between Star Fox and Kid Icarus, either one of those would be fine. Most people would say Star Fox because Kid Icarus had a game like 2 years ago, but the point is, you know, you don't want Kid Icarus to drop off the face of the earth for another 25 years, or 24, I think. Well, no, it's probably longer than that now, but you get the point. Because I feel like Kid Icarus and Star Fox could both benefit from the gamepad, and that's the other thing we got to remember. They said they were going to make a lot more gamepad-focused games, so you got to think in that aspect, and I think Star Fox would probably be the better choice, would probably be the more likely game to be shown. A flying game versus a fucking, a dungeon crawler, which is kind of what fucking Metroid is, and a racer. I'm pretty sure it probably would be Star Fox, if anything. And if it's on the 3DS, I don't think anyone would mind either. But if they're going to do more focus on gamepad-only games, Punch-Out really doesn't lend itself, which would make me think they wouldn't do that. They might do another Mario Party game. I don't think they've done a console Mario Party in a minute. And I know they had Mario Party Island Tour for the 3DS, but that game suffered, particularly because there was no fucking online. But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts. I can't think of anything else. The only thing I would really want, I've already mentioned this before, is another Pokemon Coliseum type game. But if they're doing the Pokemon fighting game, I don't think they're going to put another Pokemon game, considering we have the Alpha, Omega, and Ruby. Yeah, the Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby games coming out in November. I think the Pokemon fighting game would be it for Pokemon this year. But if they want to announce that for 2015, I ain't got no fucking problems, because I like Coliseum and XD. Coliseum is my favorite, but XD has better mechanics. And then you can kind of just update it with a lot of features from X and Y too, so that'll work. Yeah, that's my thoughts on E3. I'm looking forward to it. We're in the final hours. Let's go. So this has been the Insane Game Freak. I've said game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.